Alright guys, so I kind of wanted to do a Skull and Bones video, but I wanted to do this weeks ago, but I was waiting for more of the negative reviews for the game to kind of just pour in and people to be like, oh, critique the game, like, oh, there's so much not in it. Like, okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the things that I think are bad about the game. My first biggest pet peeve about this game is I like storyline and I like to be involved in games that are enjoyable. Me, I like pirates. Like you can see behind me, like that back thing over there, that like cloth or whatever you want to call it. Like it's a three-piece picture. Like it's pirates. Like that's my studio. Like I love pirate shit. I loved Atlas. If any of you ever play Atlas, it was basically like Ark but pirates. You could build ships from plank by plank by plank, and that was a phenomenal game. And Skull and Bones was right next to it. Like I had so much anticipation for this game, and Atlas was another game that I was playing to basically, take up my time. I was just like, oh, this game is so good. It's so much fun. I sunk so much time into the game. Anyway, with this game, being a pirate game, I did enjoy Sea of Thieves. If those of you who are going to ask, what about Sea of Thieves? I think the community for Sea of Thieves is way too fucking toxic. People are, they're just toxic, and the player base is all about, looting and taking advantage of like people who are, I don't want to say dumb, but they're not paying attention or any of that shit. But my second biggest thing with this game is the campaign, the storyline for this. You go up there and you talk to him, and it's short. Like, yeah, I think there's like maybe total of like 15 to 17 missions, totally stretched out. I mean, talking to Skurlock, like he's a cool dude and all, but like there's no more missions. And the problem that I also have is that his missions are endlessly repeatable. So like some dingus is gonna be like, why is he making me do the same mission over and over and over and over?
Just remember that I offer far greater rewards.
Yeah, you're a scumbag, Skurlock. Anyway, so you get these same exact missions, and he just keeps on giving them to you, and you can buy and sell through him, do all kinds of stuff. But
Always more coin and work for you.
the campaign was really short. The storyline, I should say, for him. And then there's obviously like tons if you go to that, or whoops, if you go to the actual world map, like all of these little outposts right here, all of these, every one of these fast travel zones has missions that you can do on their own, and a lot of them have like different stuff you can unlock. Obviously, for those of you who have played the game, you already know all this, and I'm not going to explain that. But I guess my biggest question is like, why is there so much hate on a game that obviously it took them years to get out due to development issues and a lot of hate surrounding the game. A lot of people are like, oh, it looks just like Black Flag, but it's not Black Flag, and it's like, well, no shit. It's its own game. It's its own entity. It's not Black Flag. I do like, one of my biggest distastes is that you can't like PvP on foot. And I'm not saying that it has to be like PvP like Assassin's Creed, but like you can't have like, it would be cool if you could do like flintlock standoffs, like the fastest guy to draw their guns, or like, and you could like wager coin or gold or whatever, you know what I mean? Like friendly PvP battles in that sense on land, or like sword fights and shit like that. Not that that stuff all needs to be necessarily implemented, but I just wish there was more to do on land. Like you could go on like an island, and instead of like raiding it with your ship, a plunder they call it, once you've destroyed the exterior defenses and all the ship stuff, you can go on there just like in Black Flag and fight, the 3, 4, 5 captains, depending on how big the fort is, to capture the fort or capture the material. Like that would be cool, man. Like I feel like that would just add so much to it. And another big thing, I'll just go ahead and show you before I get into it, is the material gathering. That is a huge one for a lot of people that saw it. Also, the animations. Jesus Christ, we're in the irons already. Another huge one that I think a lot of people took personally was boarding. That's another one that I don't care for. I think that's kind of dumb that they made it also a cutscene and there's no actual like interaction between it other than throwing the hooks when it says crew grappling available. And I think that's complete dog shit. I think it was a cop out, but I think they were just like, we need to get this game out, let's make it happen. And so I think that's what's going on there. I think this game is going to be like No Man's Sky, like the early game. Like if you get into the game now, there's a lot going on. You've already been through Season Pass 1, which for the season pass players who didn't get the season pass, I don't know if the bark is going to be obtainable for those, but it's hard to say. I don't really know, but I hope there's some way to achieve getting these other things. How do I just want to switch. Whoop. Anyway, I just hope that there's ways for other people to achieve these things, so it's not like a limited, like, you weren't there, you fucked up, you missed out. Like, that's gonna be kind of crappy. I hope they add ships that are kind of like permanently that you can craft, that are obtainable through other means in the game. But another one of my biggest things that I'm kind of like, ooh, like, that's really not great. Why did they do that? Is gathering. It's a mini game. You have to tap your trigger on the green, and it automatically gathers. You're not doing any of this. Like, this is. Oh. Holy shit! There's a lot of jute here. Anyway, so like that's one of the biggest things for me too, is like boarding and gathering materials. You can't leave your ship to gather materials, and you can't leave your ship to board other ships. Like, those two things alone are huge things for me, and if they change that, I think would make the game a lot more, like, a lot of people, I don't want to say swallowable, because that sounds kind of like fucking weird, but like tolerable, I guess, is a more more viable word for it. But like, everything is a minigame. You can't leave your ship. Like, looting, everything, and it's just kind of like, oh, it's kind of like that meme where it's like, ooh, brother, you know, you got that fucking dude on there. Like, that's funny, but like, it's really an issue, and that's what a lot of people see is that, and it sucks. Like, the game looks beautiful, you know, like, it's awesome. It's very physically appealing. Combat's cool. Cannon fire's cool. Like, look at that, dude. My cannonballs explode because that's exactly what they're designed to do. I got mortars in the front and rear, and like, that's cool, but like, there's just a lot of things missing, like, in that such, and I think that's why the game gets so much hate, is because Black Flag was such a huge success that so many people wanted to see Black Flag see the light of day again, but with multiplayer support, in the sense that, like, you could do fleet management like they're bringing to this game with Season 2. You know, helm upgrades. So like, now something they've talked about in the previous battle passes is being able to have your own, essentially, like, island outside of fleet management. So like, you can upgrade it, it will produce its own material, it will produce silver, gold, pieces of 8. I think it's called scallions or something like that. I forget what the other loot is, but like, just other stuff, you know. And that dolphin just fucking dove right into that island. There's a shark right there. Like, there's just a, let's see if we can blow that shit up. I don't know why my ADHD is spiking. Oh, yep, that one hit it. But like, just, there's a lot of things that they could have done more with, and I think, as I mentioned before with like No Man's Sky, like, the game was just like empty, boring when it first came out. And I'm not saying Skull and Bones is at all that. There's a lot to do, especially starting out as a new player in this game, seeing other people in like ships like what I'm in, like a maxed out like ship. You know, it's at its highest level potential. It's not the best for, you know, say island raiding. It's all my shit is geared to PvP, because that's what I enjoy, you know, and you can do that. You know, they added recently a PvP flag, so you're allowed to basically enable that and then go fight other players who also have that enabled, or compete in PvP events, which is cool. You know, the PvP isn't, at first wasn't so much open world, but now it can be. But like, the game, in my opinion, I love it. I played the first beta, I played the second beta. I love, like, you know, pirate games, so it's cool that this game is what it is, and it is going to be open world. Obviously, like, the world map, so like, we have Coast of Africa, Red Isle, Open Sea, and East Indies. So we still have all of this up here that we have to go through, and that's just not even in the game yet. And that's the beginning. That's the first part of it. Like there's going to be a whole nother like world map, from what I understand. That's, you know, like, they haven't brought in the British, the Spanish, or the French, or any other countries. It's the Dutch Merchants Company, and then you have the Commodians. Well, I don't know what the fuck they're called. These guys. I'm sure if I look at it. Yeah, the Campani Royale. You got these dudes. And then you got us, the pirates. and basically you got that's about it. And then you had Lopez for last season, so his ships would always be like sailing around. So I don't know. I guess with this game, like they've given it a lot of like support, and they've done everything that they've said they're gonna do with the game. As far as like the first season pass coming out, and then like the first ship coming out was the Bark, so that's a pretty cool ship. It has a healing ability. It's about the same size as the Snow. It uses the same model as the Snow, but it has like a hook on the back. It's pretty cool. I guess I could sail back and I'll go fast travel up to the East Indies. But I don't want to rant for too long, but I just don't understand why there's so much hate on this game. I think it's a good game. I think they're doing their best with what they can. The team is obviously, whoever's on top of this is doing a great job at doing what they can with bug issues and reimbursing players, taking care of the community. They're following the roadmap, which is for me the most impressive, coming from like wild card, because like I religiously love Ark. I don't know why. I've put years of gameplay into official and just playing the game religiously, and it's just so much fun. I always enjoyed it for forever, and I'm just basically I'm at the point with that game where I've given up on wild card, because everyone surrounding wildcard is toxic and not for the game, whereas wildcard is drowned in all of their choices and can't make their own choices because they're in debt. Yeah, see, there's one of Lopez's ships. Oh no, that's not. He's just a sandbug. But basically, yeah, that's what's going on with wildcard, and it just sucks. So I don't know. I'm happy with Ubisoft. I'm not a huge Ubisoft fan because I think they do a lot of copy and paste, and with like their Assassin's Creed games and Far Cry. Like I used to be a huge Far Cry fan, but like Skull and Bones, it's its own entity. I don't understand why people are hating on it. Yeah, it looks similar. The game looks great. Personally, I think the game looks really good. Graphics wise, there's a lot to do. You can reach different ranks. Although another thing I wish they would add is a prestige to this game. Once you reach a certain Kingpin level, it's not just infinite Kingpin levels, and there's literally over 2,500 Kingpin levels that I found out, and you can do that by just scrolling through it. So that's kind of a dumb feature. I'm glad you can infinitely level up, but it doesn't give you any value. You don't have anything more than anybody who's a Kingpin rank 25 versus a Kingpin rank 100, other than probably silver, pieces of 8, and material storage. Like that's going to be the big separating piece of that. I mean, by the time you reach Kingpin 25, you're a pretty seasoned player and you understand the mechanics of the game. And you may not be the best at PvP, and that level 100 might smoke your ass because of his comps and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean anything necessarily. There's just nothing for you. Like if you pass reaching Kingpin. So that's one thing that I hope the devs, if somebody from Ubisoft watches my video ever, that they implement like a prestige mode for Kingpin. So like Kingpin Prestige 1 rank 25, Kingpin Prestige rank, I don't know, we'll go to 100, we'll do 75 levels in between. Prestige 2, Prestige 4, Prestige 5, and I'm saying like once they start introducing like more and more ships, which is something I want to show you guys in another video. If you watched or looked at any of their Season 2 patch notes, in the video, I'm just going to fucking show it, but I'm not going to go through this really quick, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So in these patch notes, they have, I hope it doesn't show the new boat. You didn't see that. Blah, 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 blah. Hopefully you don't see any of this. Jesus Christ, where's my cursor? I just need to find this. Right here. So they already have a whole bunch of ships that are modeled and created in the game that we obviously don't have quite yet. But that's just something I wanted to go and mention because, like No Man's Sky, it was kind of empty and very vast, and there wasn't much density of the game above like mining, building a base, and getting more silver and increasing your reputation with factions. This game is basically like there's not a lot of depth past gathering ships and making hella loot. Like right now we only have, I'll just go over here and look at this dude, Carpenter. Shipwright. I have pretty much all the ships that like matter, and I don't want to say matter because like it's all the top tier stuff, but like these are all the ships we currently have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have 12 ships, and most of these ships you won't even use ever again, and then you'll get to like your bombardier and all this stuff, and these ships are all cool, Sandbuck, Brig. And for those of you who watched the thing when I scrolled by, yes, that's one thing I also wanted to bring up. There's another brig, and I don't know why, but there's already a brig. You know, it's called the Hullbreaker, but the new one is called Brigantine as well. Brig class? I don't know. It's called Brig class, but it's not a Hullbreaker. It's a support ship, it looks like. Anyway, back to the game. The game right now, once you reach Kingpin, is kind of vague, is what I'm getting at. And there's no like drive to make you go further, other than like maybe you're a freaking hoarder like I am, and a lot of players who are still playing this game past Kingpin are. You just have shit tons of silver. Like as you can see, like I got max silver. You know, and it's not max. It's just you're over the $1 million. And you have shit tons of pieces of 8. Like I don't have a ton of pieces of 8, but I have pretty much every single blueprint unlocked in the game as far as current end game stuff. And so there's not a lot of reward or anything to keep players once they reach that Kingpin rank and have fully set up the pieces of 8 run. So like obviously like all my stuff I'm waiting because the new season pass is coming out and there's going to be some stuff in the current update that resets some stuff, so I'm waiting to see exactly what it's going to be. So I haven't refreshed any of this stuff. That's why it's all red. But basically, like I only stuck to Red Isle because any of you know, currently in the game, you have to drive around and collect each and every one of these damn things manually. And that was one thing that people complained about. And so their first update, what they did is they increased the capacity or the base capacity for all these, but also increased the silver cost, which, you know, whatever, to basically make it so the longevity of the game, you could take longer to fill these and you would get more for going around. Whereas before it was like every 30 minutes you get like 40, 50 pieces of 8, and it was just like super freaking tedious, and the only way to gather it was to literally drive around, which sucked ass. And so that's why this next update in Season Pass 2, they're going to be introducing fleet management, so you can use your own ships to send them out to gather those things. And depending on like how badass your ship is, I guess you could say, like obviously like a Snow is super freaking tanky and it's kitted out at a level 12 and a quarter, is going to be damn near impossible for most things to sink it. And I don't know if other players can sink the ship yet, or if it's just going to be like AI and it's going to have a risk factor. But it's going to be cool. Like they're just bringing in all kinds of cool stuff to the game. I think it's going to become a super popular game once they get more ships in, have more stuff like the island stuff, or having your own island that develops over time by building materials, investing money and fleet into it. Like I think that's going to be badass, you know. And they're just talking about clans and clan wars and stuff like that. Like who doesn't want clan wars, dude? Like teams of 3v3 or 4v4 ships, like freaking just going at it. Different comps, mashups, best weapon types. Obviously, it's going to become a meta kind of thing. Any competitive game becomes that when it comes to customizing. It's like Crossout, for instance. If any of you play that game, that's the other game that I hugely support on my channel and make content for. But like anything like that, anything that works is going to become the meta. And like I get it. It is what it is. You can't change that. But clans is going to be exciting. You know, just the roadmap. They talked about it in their roadmap video from a long time ago. And I was just stoked to hear what they were doing. And so far, even with, you know, the massive loss of players due to, you know, the end game kind of not having anything past looting and gathering and capping out. Another thing I wish they would do, not to change the subject really fast, is they need to make it so you can upgrade your storage, your warehouse. You need to be able to carry more shit, because once you get to 200...
Welcome to my humble stowgate, fair captain.
Yeah, what's happening,
You know
bro?
the drill. You can keep just about anything in
But like
here.
once you get to that
Secrets,
200,
living secrets,
you're
from
kind of
books to
screwed. And
pages,
if they keep
I
adding
accept
material and don't allow you to
everything
increase
within the
that,
specter
you're not
of
going to be able
life
to like
media.
store that stuff. You're just going to be kind of
A ton of
screwed on
things
it.
being stored.
But
Preparing.
I want them to add an upgrade to the warehouse. But anyway, I just the game is growing, you know, and it's like I said, it's like No Man's Sky, and they say it's a AAA title. It is. It's just coming to fruition. You just got to give it time, you know. Most people that complain about it, like, it's crazy to me. Like, you bitched for so long, and now the game's finally out, and now you're complaining that the game's out and that there's not enough content or not enough going on. Like, they're doing it. They are literally doing it. Like, they already, like, within the first 3 months of the game coming out, they released a new ship, whole bunch of cool in-game content. Like, they basically like built a nice solid foundation for the rest of the season passes, and it's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting. I just don't have a lot of hate for the game, because like obviously I'm not a fanboy of it, and I don't love Ubisoft at all. I think they ruin a lot of fucking games, truly. with microtransactions and, you know, not giving a shit and supporting their game or their title. But I truthfully think with what they've done so far with this game, it's gonna see the light of day. Maybe not, you know, this year, but you know, next year after they've released a couple season or 3 battle passes, because there's supposed to be 4 per for this year, and we've already gone through 1. This is the second one. There's supposed to be 2 more. I think that the game is gonna start seeing a lot more positive attention, and the game is gonna see a lot more positive support. It just sucks that right now everyone's just diving on it and really going hard on the negative aspects of the game, you know, saying that it's shit, and you know, there's a lot of shitty things about it. Like I said, the harvesting, boarding sucks, all that stuff is mid. Like it could have been, you know, I don't know how programming works, but it could have taken them a little bit more time to make that more appetizing for, you know, the player base. I mean, it is what it is. I still enjoy the game. I mean, it still looks awesome. I know a lot of people, like I said, are complaining about it and how it visually looks. Like, I don't know. The lines are clean. You can see all the freaking lines on the window. The hull, you can see like the armor plating on my hull. Like, it looks good, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a professional game rating or designer or any of that stuff, but as far as what they've done and as what they've put out there, and you know what they say on their live streams, like everything's coming to fruition. Like, you know, perfection doesn't come in the first day of light. You know what I mean? Like, you don't start a sport, you know, and you're instantly good at it the first day. You're not the best person out there. It takes time to become, you know, basically like fine-tuned, good at it, and what you truthfully want to be. Like, just like No Man's Sky, man. Like, that game is a AAA title. It's freaking awesome. The game has received endless freaking support, and it's just awesome. No Man's Sky has gone from boring and repetitive to grinding out resources to something you can be like super proud of. You can build huge communities. There's awesome stuff on there. The game's just, I would recommend anybody who likes space and vast traveling, like to just check it out. You want to play with your friends, it has that. You know, you want to be a bajillionaire, gazillionaire, it has that too. You want to build a community of aliens, you know, it has that too. Like, there's just a lot going on. Shut up, dude. Brace to shut all those dudes up. But I don't think the game deserves all the hate that it's getting. I do think that there's a lot of things that Ubisoft can and hope that they will change with boarding and PvP in the sense. I know that PvP will change, obviously, with like clans coming into the game and all that other stuff being introduced. But there's a lot more to go with the game that they're going to be coming with. And, you know, like with medium and larger ships, like they literally said the only reason they don't have those things in the game is because they can't go everywhere that the smaller ships can, which perfectly I'm just fine with. I don't want them to be able to go where the little ships can go. Like, if I'm driving a first rate, you know, freaking massive battleship, I don't care if I can't chase a sloop into a fucking waterway. It's just, there's no point in it. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of combat just to show you how cool it actually looks. And obviously, like, this is only a level 7 ship, and the stuff shooting at me is like doing no damage, but that's just because the ship is a snow and it's the tankiest ship in the game. But you can just see how good the game looks. Like, even in this, like, in this intense graphics, like, the game looks awesome. There's a lot going on. Like, those mortars they're shooting me with cause flood damage, and that's what you see, the red on the end of my health bar. That's permanent damage to the ship that you can't repair unless you have a certain piece of furniture. Or, for me, if you have this furniture, it heals you 8,000 HP, so like, as you just saw, bam, we just got healed for that. So I don't know. I don't think, again, don't think the game should serve as much hate as it does. Yes, it is arcadey. It's not like a traditional pirate game. If that's what you're looking for, obviously this isn't your game. It's just, this to me is fun. I enjoy this. I enjoy playing with my friends. The world events are cool. Let's see if we can get this closer, and I'll show you guys the animation. God damn, bro. Stop mortaring the fuck out of me. But like, this is a larger ship. Like, you'll be able to drive this soon. You know, like, they're working on this stuff, and don't think the game deserves all the clowning and hating on it that it's getting. Man, this guy's really working his ass off to not get boarded. Just gotta shoot the sails out. It's harder because he's a taller ship. There we go. See, like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. And like, I'll just let you guys watch the animation. That's pretty much it. And then the ship sinks. And then I guess what they do is they shoot the lock off the box, like, and then like, see, like the animation, like the sinking animation, like it could be cool if it like split in two or did something crazy. Like here comes some more DMC warships to come support those guys. Like the game's cool. It's just, it's fun, and the world events are even more fun. And if you just enjoy the game rather than spending so much time bitching about it, you'll probably have fun too. But that's kind of all I have to say for the game. I don't know, we're gonna fucking crush this dude. These little guys. Go ahead and keep the health back. But I don't know. That's all I wanted to kind of say. It's 26 minutes in. I wanted to show a little bit of gameplay and how pretty the game actually is versus what everyone's bitching about. Frame rate, ray tracing, all this extra garbage that's unnecessary. Like, what happened to like playing a regional Xbox and the game was enjoyable? Where do you think you're going, bro? Let's take this sail down. Like, I don't understand where gaming has become. Like, people are so prissy about the little shit when the game itself is just good, you know? It's fun, it's enjoyable. If you don't enjoy it, don't play it, but don't sit there and post on social media about how bad the game is 24/7 and how it needs to be changed and how this needs to be changed and blah 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 blah. Like, that's not going to make the developers want to change. They're just going to look at you and be like, okay, this guy clearly doesn't see what we see in the game, and that's fine. We're just going to go somewhere else and continue to make our game, which I don't blame them. It's exactly what they should do. Oh man, Patty Lock. I don't know. It's a fun game. If you want to try the game, I know it's on sale right now, I believe. This video is not going to be relevant in a week as far as a sale, but yeah, it's going to be on sale. It's on sale. If you want to try the game, honestly, like, they offer a free 8-hour trial, which is crazy to me that people will still continuously bitch about it. There we go, we got him. And so if you want to try the game, try the trial. You get 8 hours. That's enough for you to get to a brig hand or anything like that. I'll let you guys watch this so you can see nothing happens. Yeah, see, they shoot it. Bam. Gold shiny. Even though there's like no gold, there's just silver. Look at that dude's dainty ass smile on the right. He's like, look what I got. Man. Anyways, guys, that's going to conclude this video because I'm going to keep talking about why there's so much hate on this game. I don't understand it. It's enjoyable. It is what it is. You know, the game's going to continue to progress. And for those of you who don't want to partake in that, you know, that's your loss. You're going to miss out on all the cool shit and one-time use stuff that you could have. That's dope. That's the bark. He's got some cool-ass colors on that. Oh, yeah. That's good looking. Level 12, yep. Level 13 will be the next cap for the Season 2 pass, so that'll be cool. They're introducing new armors, so super excited for that. But anyways, guys, that's it. I'll see you in the next video, right before it's 29 minutes.